What is up, guys? JayFerGaming here. Welcome to the Malaysian Grand Prix, my F1 2016 career mode. There's 5 races to go after this one, so we're getting to the business end of this season. We can just see we've just had an upgrade there, and we've maxed out all the drag upgrades. So that's 4 sections of the upgrade system and parts of the car that we fully upgraded now. Just the fuel system needs a couple of upgrades, and you can see here in the vehicle performance will still last. It's very close between all the teams. But I just don't feel them two fuel efficiency upgrades would match Red Bull's current performance. I don't know how that's worked. Maybe we'll see if we make them 2 upgrades. But I don't think they're very important for our push to try and get the title. Last time out, we had a shocker in Singapore. It wasn't going too well, and then we got taken out by the AI. Go check that one out if you want to. Wasn't the most enjoyable in terms of my racing. But into qualifying and into Q1. It started with heavy rain and then transitioned to light rain by the end of the session. So I decided just to do a lap at the end. You can see first place is currently Daniel Ricciardo on the wets. I thought about going out on the intermediates, and yeah, hopefully this will get us through. Our one and only lap in this session. Coming to the line, it seems like it's a decent lap. Might not get first, but it should be enough for us to get through, and it was P4, the slowest of the drivers on the Inters. And yeah, that worked out very well for us, even though we're 2 seconds off. Wasn't an amazing lap, I wasn't pushing all the way, but it was enough to get through, which is the main thing. Who got eliminated here? Big shock to Mercedes. That's not good at all for them. Along with Massa, Haryanto, Gutierrez and Ericsson, so quite a few of the usual suspects. But we move into Q2 now, and it was a very similar scenario. Started off with intermediate conditions, and then transitioned to dry conditions. So again, I just waited till the end of the session, put on the dry tyres. This was an okay lap. Again, it wasn't like the best awesome lap you'll ever see. I wasn't pushing as much as I could, but again it was enough to get through. 4th out of 4. Just like Q1, that session had a lot of similarities compared to Q1, and we can see who got eliminated. I'd say Sainz is a shock, but apart from that it's the usual suspects. Now into Q3, and it was just dry all the way through. Again, I just put in a lap at the end of the session. It's not a very good lap, guys. I kind of expected to finish P10, if I'm going to be honest, and we're over 2 seconds slower than Ricciardo. I've made a couple of small mistakes, and yeah, I was just waiting for better things on race day. But P10, Red Bulls look like they're dominating here at the moment, and that's exactly what Max Verstappen leading the driver's standing. So it's race day, it's very sunny, there is no threat of rain, so it's going to be all on the dry tyres. So I remember back to season 4 where we had the very underpowered Sauber, and it was fully dry. I think it was our first fully dry race for the Sauber, and we were absolutely miles behind. Me and Ericsson at the back just chilling on our own. I don't think we'll have that this season because the car is a lot more competitive. It's been proven in a number of races this season. Our straight line speeds can help us. We might be a bit shaky in Sector 2, but hopefully that should be enough to get us fighting for the points for starting P10. So we've got a decent shout. So over to Crofty now to give you the grid for the Malaysian Grand Prix.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. It was a good showing from Red Bull in qualifying, and Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hülkenberg, Vettel, Sergio Perez, and Raikkonen, Kvyat, Button, Palmer, and the Sauber, Grosjean, Magnussen, Fernando Alonso, and Sainz, Wehrlein, Bottas, Felipe Massa and Lewis Hamilton, Rosberg and Haryanto, Esteban Gutierrez, and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid.
That is the grid. Now over to the strategy. We got into Q3, so we have to start on the softs. It's not what I would do for the optimum strategy, but it means we're probably going to have to do 2 stints on the hards. Not what I usually like to do, but let's see how it pays off. So we're building up to the start of the Malaysia Grand Prix, 5 lights, and away we go. The start is okay, nothing spectacular. Raikkonen's not got a great start ahead. Grosjean's got a pretty good start, even on their medium. So we're moving ahead of the Ferrari. Grosjean's on the right-hand side. Can we get Button as well? Grosjean's going up the inside of everyone, and it's getting very tight through this snailish section, kind of chicane kind of thing. But Grosjean very slow ahead. Oh, Button, what a nudge there. You could have caused a bit of a pile-up with myself and Grosjean. That was very lucky, but we've come out unscathed. Ahead of Button now into P9. We can't go for the usual dive bomb into turn 3 here, which we usually would, and take a couple of easy positions off the AI. So we settle in behind the Haas of Grosjean. So he had a good start. We had an alright start. We've only made a 1 position, which isn't as much as we usually do, but it's solid. It means we've got a foundation to build on, even in this early stage. So, we move on to the end of lap 1, and yeah, there's a little bit of a train forming. I feel like there's a slow car in the middle of that pack, and it's bringing Grosjean towards me with a bit of rich mix and straight line speed. We might have a shot at going for the move into turn 1. Looks like we will. Kvyat's going for it on Palmer, up the inside of the Haas driver, and we've got it done. I think he's hanging around the outside, though he might still be there. So, I can't turn into turn 2 here. As Kvyat does to Palmer, there's a bit of contact. We've taken Grosjean, have we? No, we've been pushed onto the curb there, so we didn't get great traction. There's a yellow flag behind us. Don't know what's going on there. Sainz is out of the race. Can we get Grosjean into the braking zone? Up the inside, he's being halted by Palmer. A little bit too late on the brakes there. Gave Grosjean a slight nudge, but we've made through it unscathed. On board with my teammate here, we can see the Magnussen's pulled up. Not Magnussen, Sainz is pulled over with a bust power unit, and he's actually my new rival. I didn't include that in this video because, yeah, what's the point really? We're not moving teams or anything. So yeah, bad race to the Toro Rosso driver. Perez has got held up there by Palmer. I was wondering why someone was very slow, and I was surprised to see it was Perez, but it does make sense when he's starting on the hard compounder tyre. 2 tyres harder than ours, so we really should be blasting past Perez, even though he has got a very strong car. And we're just on the back of Palmer. We were within the 1 second window, so we get DRS, and that's going to be enough for us to easily get past. There we go. I think you guys know by now this car has amazing straight line speed, and I suppose every car I've had has had amazing straight line speed. I'm not sure if that's a setup thing. I'd probably guess it is, but by the end of lap 4 I thought, I'm going to try something different here. Usually I'm the one staying out or trying something longer, or making one less pit stop, but I'm going to go for the undercut here, try and jump Danny Kvyat. We were a couple of seconds behind him, but we were kind of settled in, I think it was 6th place there, so I'm coming into the pits, and I think, is someone in behind me as well? I don't think there is actually, so there's a car ahead. We are pitting on lap 4, so I'm expecting to do 2 stints of 12 laps on the hard compound, so hopefully that's alright. It's probably one of my phrases of the career mode. I don't like the harder compound, along with the AI is stupid, and just random lines like that you've probably picked up, but we're going to have to go on these tyres for the rest of the race, I think, if nothing happens in terms of safety car or anything like that. So, lap 6 now. Someone is coming out the pits. We are running around in last, unbelievably, and that's Palmer. We just overtook him before the safety car. So why am I saying safety car? I've got a safety car in my mind for whatever reason. Before I came into the pits, we're trying to fight Palmer for last here, and we got a snap of oversteer there. Worst timing, and Palmer's got himself through, but I knew I'm going to have to pounce while he's on fresh tyres, and they're not up to temperature. So up the inside, he turns in, and we make contact with his rear, and that actually helped us, weirdly enough. So a strange drifting kind of move there, but by the end of the lap, Palmer was putting me under pressure. He's got DRS and quite decent straight line speed. Cars coming out the pits as well, so it's going to be close with Valtteri Bottas into turn 1 as we go defensive. We're just looking for a gap. This could be a similar scenario to what I just had with Palmer on the previous lap, where I've got to take advantage of the cool tyres, and we're a little bit behind Bottas, but I think we might have a shot if we can get into the slipstream enough, do the same move we did to Palmer, maybe a little bit cleaner, and it's late once again. We've got to go down to gear 2, I'd usually stick in 3, but we slowed the car down and we got ahead of Valtteri, and that could be important. The Williams isn't the quickest car in this career mode, so that could be vital. They are good in the straight line speed, and that's why Bottas keeps closing in on me with DRS. Grosjean's coming out the pits, and he has jumped us, if I'm not mistaken, and he is on the mediums as well, so he's got a different strategy going on. So for now, you'd expect him to pull away. He has a slightly better car than me, but I'm a better driver than him, just being honest, in this career. And no, this time we can't get close enough, can we? I don't think we're going to be making any moves through the fast chicane here, but as long as we can stick with him, and he won't be that far ahead realistically, or will he? He is pulling away on them mediums, but I'm feeling okay on these hard tyres. Usually I struggle initially, but for now we're doing okay as Bottas goes to the move here. Great straight line speed, as I've said before, with the Williams and the Mercedes combination. And is he going to hang around the outside? No, he is not. We move across him just enough, and we defend our position nicely. Struggling a little bit with the exit out of the final corner, so yeah, not the best of balance through there, and Bottas with his straight line speed, DRS, Could be going for the move once again. Once again we go defensive. He's later on the brakes. Tries to hang around the outside, which I've seen in real life a few times. It's very tricky to do. This time we leave him even less room and keep him behind. We do have quite a few cars behind us. It's not a very close train, but yeah, it is a train of sorts really. But is everyone coming out the pits now? There's a few more. There's Vettel. So we're back up to P8, and that's actually our genuine position, if I'm not mistaken. So we're not that far behind Grosjean. It looks like we're going to be fighting for round P6 to P9, something like that. So a few points would be very satisfying around here. It's not an amazing track for me, it's alright, but yeah, a few points, I'd totally accept that. So it was quite a quiet stint really. We had Bottas behind me. I felt like Vettel was faster than Bottas, so Bottas and Vettel were like less than a second behind me, but Bottas was keeping Vettel at bay, and Bottas really wasn't putting me under that much pressure. That's why there was no highlights, but we built a gap to the next group behind us, so we're feeling solid for a points finish. I think that stint kind of confirmed it, and the hards are performing pretty well. By the end of the stint, they were won by about 60%. I think it was the highest on one of the tyres, and the tyres didn't really feel that bad. I didn't feel a huge drop off, but yeah, we've made our final pit stop there. Another set of the hards, so that'll take us to the end. We're trying to overtake Ericsson, but of course he goes into the pits. You know, pride and everything, because Ericsson's a fantastic driver. Sir Marcus Ericsson, of course. But yeah, he's going into the pits. A few other drivers coming out the pits. You've noticed that a lot of the footage is me overtaking people in the pits. Really, there isn't a whole lot of wheel-to-wheel racing. I think this was more a strategic race overall. And we can see Grosjean has come out just ahead of us, but he is on the same compound as us. So when he had the tyre advantage, he pulled away by a couple of seconds, but he wasn't massively quick. So I felt I've got a shot at beating Grosjean here and hopefully fighting for, I think, P7. But I saw Vettel coming up in my mirrors. I don't know where Bottas is, but Vettel has jumped Bottas. And I thought, I don't really want to fight this, lose time to Grosjean. So what I'm going to do, let Vettel go past with DRS and try and follow him and try and get pulled towards the Haas and hopefully take both of them. Retake the position from Vettel and get pulled towards the Haas. That was the plan. And did I pull it off? Well, not really, because I couldn't keep up with Vettel. Vettel was just too quick. I'm not sure if he was on a 3-stop or something, but he overtook Grosjean, and we are slowly closing in. We're 2 seconds behind. Everyone has now pit, so our genuine position has returned to P8, and it looks like we're probably fighting for P7. And we've got Rosberg in 9th behind us, not too far behind, but I wasn't really feeling under threat. I thought the pace in the midfield was very similar between all the cars, so it wasn't wheel-to-wheel exciting, but there was an intriguing battle going on. Magnussen is out, that's why I mentioned his name earlier on. So the virtual safety car was deployed, and I felt like this could have been an opportunity for me to catch up, and I did. And yeah, it means we're within the 1 second window of Grosjean. We didn't get DRS this time, not too sure why. But yeah, we're there to attack. So with 5 laps to go even, we've got a shot of nicking a couple more points off the Haas driver. And I always think back to the first season every time I battle Grosjean, because we had some fantastic battles all the way back in season 1. That's nearly a year ago. It's crazy to think it was that far ago, but me and him had some fantastic battles, and it looks like we could have another one in a second. We're closing in with Rich Mix and the slipstream up the inside. Can we make our classic move into turn 3 stick? Yes, we can. Very clean. AI is not going to turn in at all. F1 2017, please turn in AI and make it more exciting. But we're up to P7, and we're trying our best to just keep away from Grosjean and try and keep ahead and maintain the 7th position. At this point, I was told Kvyat ahead of us has a problem, and he really is dramatically slowing down. I think in 1 lap he's lost about 4 or 5 seconds to Vettel, so I don't know if we've got a shot of getting him on this final lap. But first of all, we've got to concentrate on defending from Grosjean and the 2 Mercedes. So what a threat this is. Grosjean, Rosberg, Hamilton all trying to nick my 7th place here. Grosjean's trying to go for around the outside, but I think we know by now I can defend that perfectly well. And we force him quite far wide there, so Rosberg's taken over him actually. So that's going to help us in terms of our run to the line. Rosberg is up to 8th. He will have better straight line speed than the Haas, so come to the line. I felt like there was a slight threat, but I should have it under control. And here we go. Can we get decent traction? Yes, we can. Rosberg's quickly going to get DRS. I was confident now. Get into the line, and there we go. We finished in P7, so some more solid points. I'm not sure if it's going to be towards a championship push looking at this. Max Verstappen and a fantastic result for Red Bull. A 1-2 there. And Perez scored heavily again. unfortunately, I just don't think I can keep up, and there's not enough tracks like Monza and Spa which suited our car right down to the T. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to fight for the title. I will try my best, of course, and I know the AI will take points off each other, but yeah, aiming for top 3, top 5, something like that, just getting as much points as possible, of course. Here's the driver standings. We're up to P5 actually, but we have lost a bit of ground to the likes of Hulkenberg and Ricciardo ahead. So Verstappen, look at that lead. He has 53 points over me, so with 5 races to go, that's going to be very difficult to overturn, but beating these drivers in what is the weakest car would be fantastic. Just trying to make exciting races and just have a great time in this final push for F1 2016. So there's the rest of the field. A huge gap between Kvyat and Palmer, 11th and 12th. Renault's declined so much since I left the team. Over to the constructors, solidly in 6th. The battle goes on at the top, though Red Bull had a spectacular performance here in Sepang. So if you have enjoyed this Malaysian Grand Prix, please do leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time out. Goodbye.